And especially in comparison to game 1, where I think they were just completely outdrafted, I don't think that the draft gap is quite to that magnitude, but I do think that they have a slight advantage over Monkey, but his team just kind of lost out in their lanes. Sort of like what we're seeing up here. I wouldn't be too concerned. Actually, probably I would, given Viego's proximity. I would say the Rumble heals this back up, but when Monkey's here, this is bad.
Yeah, Keshi just taking a rough trade there. Going to have to flash away. Going to get matched by Cube. Stunned, executed, first blood to Monkey.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Captain Jacks the Shattering Strike, but it's not the best feeling in the world. You know, it's cool that you can Captain Jack it, but you do kind of want to be having your cleanse up. So with that being such a favorable trade down there, he is going to have to sacrifice to drag them up here. The way I'm kind of seeing this map unfold, it feels like TT could start them up. Typically, blue side is better at taking grubs and red side better at taking Drake.
Ooh, Monkey
spot
found
him out here.
Feather going to get stunned on up even through the Unbreakable. Now gets pulled in by the Magnet Storm.
Oh, this is
trying
good.
desperately to get back away. Monkey flashes forward, finishes him off, but will get killed to the backside. And the Cyclone spinning across the team. Gonna hand over a double kill
Not
to
too happy. So really clutch exhaust, really good for TT. Let's see if they get all 3 grubs or just 2.
One grubby already down, make that 2 here, but this is where Monkey is going to look to claim it. No, it goes the way of Junhao, but it might cost him his life. Karis is all over him. He's going to fall down. Big all-out found by Cube. Pulls Keshi into the middle of the crew for a second, and they're going to look for more. Realm Warp in towards
here. You're
here.
going to be strong against everybody else, aside from this full MR Cassante.
Feather face checking into 3 members of WE here, but he seems to want the fight. Goes for the Glacial Fissure, lands it onto Yao Yao. Junhao trying to focus his damage through on towards that rel as well. And Junhao will claim the kill, but they finish off Hiru on the opposite side, and Hiru going to end up falling on down. Now going to be a good attempt at this dragon here for Monkey, but gonna have to brawl with the jungler first. Karis is just one shot. They smite down onto the dragon, does go the way of Monkey, and he gets himself another reset. What else can he find? Heartbreaker forward, another kill, another reset. Monkey demolishes the dragon fight, a triple kill on the Viego.
That is not Viego champ. When he is able to do that and when he is able to snowball games, it just gets way too out of control. He's got the Sundered Sky now. How can you even keep up?
Yeah, looks like they made another play in towards the bot lane here, too, to just keep on bullying Haru. And Haru does drop down.
Losing a lot of golden XP? I don't necessarily think they are. You know, trading this bot tower for the Rift Herald is pretty good. I really like Rift Herald overall as an objective. You know, it feels kind of... Okay. Let's take a look at this first.
Yeah, Root connects, and this might just be a dead Keshi. I mean, Monkey is so strong here on these item spikes. He flashes forward, he gets 1 reset. It is onto the Rumble, and he doesn't take the turret aggro. Now has to Heartbreaker back away, trying to escape, but Junhao gets the bonk before it is too late. And now Karis might be next on the menu, channeling the Realm Warp, hiding out in the corner, but Junhao will find him, and crushing.
That is exactly what TT needed. You know, WE just overstepped a bit, and we got another problem on the Rift here.
Feather going to be able to stay alive for a while. Wow, about Killer Instinct forward right into the face of Thunder Talk, and Haru is there to punish. Quick kill going over to TT, and now Cube might be up too far as well. Trying to buy some time for Monkey. In goes Yao Yao. Magnet Storm onto 4. Triple stun from Cube, but Monkey is scattered back away. Haru staying strong, creating the fight lines. 2 more kills to Thunder Talk.
Yeah, and out of nowhere, one play in the top side, one in the bot side, Thunder Talk just starts running away with this game. They've got a gold lead, and they just summon the Rift Herald. They can probably get even more work done with this here. I mean, I guess it's just W rage bait from Feather. He's like, oh no, you caught me recalling, and suddenly, about steps too far, completely walks into Ryan's waiting arms there just to kill him, and we might have another blunder here. What is going on, Gordo?
Yeah, Monkey just feeling too overconfident, I suppose, with the amount of kills he picked up earlier. Just hands over another one, and I think that was even a small, error there from Thunder Talk. They were going to be able to knock him up with the Rift Herald, just barely shorted it, and it didn't even matter. Better for now. WE need to try to retain some control over the top side river, but all of Thunder Talk are here. Equalizer going to come on across. Monkey and About trying to escape. Flash from Keshi makes the pick onto About, and down goes the carry. Yao Yao now next up on the menu. Karras going to try to help out his support, but he's done for. Heru claims the kill.
Yeah, they're just cooking, and I was just going to say how aptly named Monkey is with some of the ways that he plays the game. You know, he giveth and he taketh, and he kind of has been taking from his team here a bit this game, and the next thing that's going to be taken here is the Baron for TT. I'm surprised they were even able to do that. Keshi just says, hold up, these guys are in range. I don't think many people would have realized that, but he's like, no, trust me, they are. Equalizers, flashes forward, About, get off my screen. And with About off the screen and Yao Yao off the screen, those are two people in the graveyard and two less people to stop TT from taking the Baron.
Oh, a pick onto Ryan, though. Monkey back alive.
Monkey giveth.
Makes
completely stifle this Baron push. Ryan, I mean, he didn't lose flash here. He only ulted away the transcend oneself and then dashing, but...
And they're going to be able to finish off Yao Yao as a result.
He's got a GA here, and I'm pretty sure he's got cashback as well. I mean, honestly, he must because he doesn't have the magic boots. So you see he's even able to increase that gold lead with the GA pickup. He's got some extra items in his inventory. He's pretty darn strong, Gordo. So I think, and that's also the nature of Viego. You can solo carry game regardless of the mistakes he made earlier in this game. There's anybody you want in the clutch on the Viego. I honestly low-key think it's Monkey. I say that, but he's, you know, he's
all right,
doing Monkey
hey,
things. Yeah.
He escaped. He got out of there, but now the Heartbreaker's on cooldown, and the rest of ThunderTalk are using this Baron to siege onto this inner turret. 3 plates already down, soon to be 4. They might just claim this whole damn thing. Karras working on an inner turret of his own up on the top side, so it is a little bit of a trade, but ThunderTalk still have Baron at their backs. They're not going to slow down on this push. We need to mount some kind of defense.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why their towers are just falling all across the map here is Karras chose to play offense instead of defense. I honestly like it. That's kind of how I tend to play these situations. You know, you can even give up the inhib if need be. I would imagine TT goes straight for the Drake because it's a pretty big price to pay, spending the extra 10 seconds for that inhib.
Look at Yao Yao as he looks to try to find a way to get the massive Magnet Storm on across. Now he's behind enemy lines. Up in the front line is Cube. He finds one stun. Magnet Storm comes on across. Feather, the only one locked down. About launches himself into the back line. Keshi going to throw on down that Equalizer, and the rest of WE going to have to get away from it. About cut off from the rest of the team. Going to be able to make it a 1-for-1 with Keshi as the first reset of the fight comes through for Monkey. Realm Warp out away, trying to chase down Junhao. Comes out of Karras, but that means he's left Monkey all on his own.
For Monkey, and these are really good items to have in your inventory as Viego. And again, I will hit this point home. If there's any champ who can solo carry games with a lead, it is Viego. So it's just the Monkey show this game, Gordo. It really is.
Yao finding a double stun. Scatter the Weak goes wide. They find Heru on the backside, and they will get the first execute of the fight. Monkey gonna get focused down, though. He drops in pretty short order, and Karras doing his best to pump out the damage on the machine gun mage. Gets a set across, but Junhao will finish him as he's finished 2 others. Triple kill to Junhao. Monkey does not get to pop off in the resets on the fight, and it is a 2-for-4 that should give ThunderTalk their second Baron.
Yeah, this is super advantageous for ThunderTalk, but I do think there are some pretty solid silver linings here for WE. Just given that this Drake is spawning in 2 minutes, that is the main win condition. And, you know, obviously TT is going to be able to set themselves up in the river, have first priority control over the area, over the vision. They can control the space. It's going to be tough to get
member on the team. I mean, even Keshi maybe not going to be too poor of a target as he's got plenty of money in the bank, but instead WE are kind of avoiding the fight entirely. They're going to just try to race through mid, but they're up against Baron and 3 Grubs. They will not win this race. They've got to get back here. They're going to lose their bot lane inhibitor.
Yeah, you're going to be losing inhibitors here, but you just have to find a way to contest this Drake. I feel like if you lose this Drake, you lose. Obviously, if you lose your Nexus, you lose. That's what TT wants to do here.
Going to start channeling the recall from about. He obviously does not have access to the teleport, so it's going to be a while away. Cube takes a big chunk of damage from Keshi and Ryan. Finally about able to return and try to rain through a little bit of the damage that these APWs can provide. TP in from behind. Cube looking for the flank. WE looking for a big fight here. Dashing forward. Cube trying to find the stun. He manages to get it onto Ryan. Ryan isolated back away. Magnet Storm connects across the team fight. Karis going to stay there, continue to fire away, and WE have found the team fight that they needed. Karis coming in from the side, picks himself up a triple kill. It is a clean ace to WE.
Save the cannon, save the cannon. Oh, they think they can end. I think they can end. How has this happened? TT just had the biggest lead of all time, and then WE just finds the most magic ace with a 1 HP cannon minion going straight down the mid lane. You have to protect the cannon, tank the towers, and now, is it possible? I don't know. I honestly don't know, but you're going to get the Dragon Soul either way. You're just so over the moon about this. They aren't quite able to do it, but, I mean, the game doesn't end here and now, but they get the Dragon Soul, Goro, from that position. Are you kidding me?
Karis biding his time.
Enemy base there. That's not where you want to be. That's the enemy base. And Rel says, yeah, you guys don't belong here, man, and just Magnet Storms all of them.
Dragon Soul now to WE. One more thing I want to highlight.
He's going to get the death cap. Kaisa being one of the best champs with the extra inventory slot, I don't think he's going to make it that far. We definitely have a look on Cube here, by the way.
Keep getting collapsed on. Realm Warp is coming on over, though. Karis is here to back up his top laner. Can Cube stay alive for long enough? Concussive Blow is going to hold him still, and Haru claims the kill. 4 versus 5 on the map. Thunder Talk standing outside the gates of WE's base find themselves with a numbers advantage, and the Baron ripe for the taking. Can they get a third?
Well, we have a 5v4 with Chemtech Soul on the 4, so it should be relatively even. We're going to see a contest here.
Monkey going to look for the steal at the very least. Baron dropping lower and lower. Karis steps on up. Going to get knocked up by Feather. He has to flash back away, but now can find an opportunity to pump out the damage. About dashes forward. Magnet Storm on through the rest of the team, but torching the entire crew is Keshi. The respawns come on through. None of them are enough, but Monkey finds himself another reset. It's a triple kill to Ryan, but Monkey still staying alive. Still such a massive threat, and has stalled out the Baron. Jumps over the wall, gets back over with another blast cone, and Monkey will escape with his life.
Better positioning, a slight gold advantage. We got elixirs across the board here. Here we go.
Yeah, kind of finds Keshi off on his own, and I mean, this is a full-on pick. He goes into the stasis trying to buy time for the rest of the team to bail him out, but About going to finish him off in no time flat, and this is right as the Elder Dragon is spawning. Thunder Talk without one of their major damage dealers, and the poke from About starting to land. Yao back to his old tricks, but this time on Vision. Can he find a pathway in to engage?
I mean, Cube has the Infinity Stone of Shield right now.
Oh, Haru isolated out. Karis nearly one-shots him, and that's the go button for WE, baby. Yao will take any target he can find, as will Cube. Dashes forward to find the stun across multiple members. Ryan pops the Transcendence to be able to create a little bit of space. Nobody else on Thunder Talk going to fall, but now the Dragon easier than ever to start up and claim for WE.
Yeah, they're sprinting to the Baron. They took the mid wave. There's just no way they have enough time. If anybody breathes on Haru, he just dies, by the way. If someone even so much as flicks him, he will die.
And there's Yao and Cube thrown right into the middle of everybody. Haru going to be able to Zonia's away from the Heartbreaker, but Monkey was waiting for him all along. Feather going to be next up on the menu, starting to burn down to that Elder damage, and they did manage to cut Junhao away from the rest of the team. Mega Blast Cones let him get that distance, but this Baron is now WE's.
Yeah, they are going to get both of the OP objectives, with the third one in tow being the Dragon Soul. You have absolutely everything.
Gets picked off at the start of that fight, and now that might just have kind of unrecoverable consequences for the rest of TT up against this triple epic buff WE squad. They take down 2 inhibitors. Baron buff on these minions, going to try to close this one out if they can find the team fight that they need. Poke damage starting to come through from About. Lands onto Haru and will take him down to about half HP. They don't need to slow down here either. Their frontliners still at pretty good health totals, and none of this harassment starting to connect on through. Karis with all all of his cooldowns up and available. Going to continue to push on up with these Baron minions, and they're going to start to work onto the Nexus turrets. Feather taking a little bit of harassment here, but nobody wanting to fully commit to the engage quite yet. First Nexus turret going to fall on down. Void Spikes still connecting here. These Void Seekers pushing back TT as this long-range damage source that they just can't respond to.
Oh, they're out of towers. They're out of room to run.
Finally, Yao Yao going to pull the trigger about right onto the back line. Flashes forward looking for Ryan. Doesn't get much done. Goes into the stasis, but the whole while